and turning it back toward the people and investing again in the people's capacity. Movements go up and down. They go up and down. But you don't want them to go all the way back down through the floor. You got to start over 40 years from now. You want to put that bottom under there so you can push back up. That is the way I want us to begin to think. This is not about a presidency. This is about a pro-democracy movement that pushed authoritarians out of power in our country. We had one-party authoritarian rule in this country for 6 years. They destroyed the Constitution. They launched illegitimate wars. They were horrible people. And we had a pro-democracy movement that rose up out of the people in this room and our friends, and we pushed authoritarians out of power, and our pro-democracy movement is now trying to govern. That's hard. But it will be much more helpful for us to focus on the things we can control, like how we help and hold each other, than always talking about stuff we cannot do a daggum thing about, which is what's happening in the White House today.
On stitching together that environmental movement with a sort of an inside-outside game in D.C., there was a quote in Mike Allen's Politico playbook today, which a lot of people in D.C. read, that said an administration official was complaining that the environmental group spent something like $100 million but couldn't recruit a single Republican. And I think that we might not like that score, but there's a real point there, which is you're trying to build up power and you're trying to change minds and show people, either in office or show their constituents, that we have a real climate crisis here and we have a real energy opportunity, as you've laid it out. Do you think that's a fair criticism of the environmental movement in this fight here? And do you think it's viable or possible to get more Republican support with a grassroots approach?
I mean, it's certainly a tragedy that $100 million was spent. I think it's a bigger tragedy that 100 million people probably agree with us and weren't mobilized, right? I mean, there was no march for green jobs and climate solutions. We went into a period where we were chasing subcommittee chairs and legislative aides rather than chasing the American people. That's not fair. I mean, there were ads and certainly One Sky and Al Gore's organization and others did rely on trying to move ordinary people. But I just think that what is the better view is to say that there is a constituency in America that's an unlikely constituency. It's beautiful. It's Silicon Valley, venture capitalists. It's out-of-work workers. It's kids out there, the 350.org kids who are fighting for a better future. And that constituency did not find the right magic to bring the best out of this White House or the best out of this Congress. And so we've got to figure that out. But I think that the most important thing I can say is this is not over. And we do have the rest of this congressional term. We do have the midterms. And also we do have incredible innovation at the state and local levels. It is disappointing. It is frustrating. But it's what you do in the period of heartbreak that determines how long that heartbreak lasts. And what I don't want to see us doing is turning on each other. I do think that if we're going to get across the finish line, we will need more leadership and more vocal leadership from the White House. I do think, although we're also going to need more vocal mobilization from ordinary people and less reliance on the insider stuff in D.C.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we have only a little bit of time left, I thought, because you're popular here because you get stuff done, but you're also kind of cool.
I'm the coolest geek I know.
I thought we'd end with just a little rapid fire. It's a little bit like when Hannity does the rapid fire, and he's like, favorite part of America, except it'll be like normal questions, so we learn a little bit more about you. So kind of the anti-Hannity. But we'll just run through a couple things that people might be curious about. If we get anything that you don't want to answer, you don't have to answer. But I don't think it'll get that crazy. We'll save that for nighttime Vegas. So, what do you read in the morning? What do you rely on to find stuff out?
I obviously Huffington Post. Everybody looks at Huffington Post first. I love Arianna Huffington. I think she's made a bigger contribution to this whole movement than most people know. She doesn't go with the left-right thing, which I think is a part of her strength. So I look at the Huffington Post, but I also have lots of specialized feeds around the environment and energy stuff.
Yeah, what are any energy blogs, green blogs you read?
E&E, Washington Post. I don't want to give them free advertising, though. Because they aren't in here.
Favorite TV show, political or non-political?
Believe it or not, it's still The West Wing. Though I got to tell you, it's a lot different than the real thing.
And yeah, right. And what's the non-political thing? Because that would just still be politics.
The non-political show that I like the most, Sesame Street.
For real?
Yeah. No, hey, look, I have 2 kids. I've got a 2-year-old boy named Matai. Well, he'll be 2 next month. His name Matai. I have a 6-year-old boy named Cabral. And Sesame Street is the stuff. I mean, you want to know how to get along with people. You want to know how to share. I mean, we need Sesame Street for grown people rather than studying. That's what we need. Sesame Street is the move.
Music.
I got a weird taste in music. You
already lost the political job.
Exactly.
So you can tell us.
No, but I honestly, I love Bob Marley, but I also like Sarah McLachlan. I like Barry Manilow. I'm going there.
Wow.
You asked. I like Journey.
Yeah, I thought some of your other stuff was controversial.
Exactly.
But Barry Manilow.
Hey, look, man, because every now and again I have a bad day, and only Barry can get you there all the way. I won't sing for you, but I also like I like Tupac. I like it all because what I like the English language. I love what you can do. You can take somebody's mind and their earlobes or their eyeballs or whatever, and just with the right words, you can cast a spell. You can take people to happy, to sad. I love poetry. I love preachers. You're asking about songs. If you look at my iPod, what's on it? Churchill, Reagan, Bobby Kennedy, Dr. King. That's my music. I love to listen to slam poets and stand-up comics and preachers and politicians. The people who have to stand up there with a microphone and no accompaniment and figure out a way to engage an audience. I love that stuff. And the best people in the world at it are on both sides of the political spectrum. And I think it's important that we start remembering that. Two of my favorite people in the last century, Churchill and Gandhi. But they fought each other the whole century. Churchill trying to keep the empire, Gandhi trying to get it free. But they had a level of dignity, seriousness, depth. I don't mind us having conflicts with the other side. I think it's good for us to have the debate. I honestly believe that I'm enriched when I have to argue with somebody from some of the other think tanks and that kind of stuff. I come away better and stronger. What I don't like is when somebody shows up to a debate with a chainsaw and a poo-poo pie and a Doberman Pinscher. What does that have to do with the debate? And so if you ask me what I mostly listen to the spoken word.
Well, Gandhi and Churchill, I think that's a great place for us to end, and thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Van Jones.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great job.
Appreciate you. Great job. Good.